This is the All American Backcountry Podcast. All right, welcome to my first video podcast that I've recorded. So bear with me as I try to figure things out, but I think I got it all figured out. But I wanted to do something a little different on this one. This is a review of a gun I bought a couple of years ago. It was the Ruger PC Charger. I bought it to be a home defense weapon, but that came into question after putting 200 rounds through it or so. And I've made some changes to it and haven't really put it through its paces yet to really test to see if it solved the issue or not. And so this is my just overall review on the gun itself, and then some recommended changes that I would make to it or some upgrades. And just my thoughts on it here. So I bought the Ruger PC Charger and started shooting it, and everything was fine in the beginning. It was great, shot great and everything. But then I started to get a stovepipe jam, and for those of you that don't know what that is, it's where the shell gets ejected and it just kind of gets stuck in the port, like it's not. And basically, there's like an ejector pin that's not pushing that shell out well enough, and so it just gets stuck there, and you have to cycle it, and kind of weird. But that was starting to happen like every 10-15 shots. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like this isn't really maybe a good home defense pistol. and I keep saying it is a pistol. The Ruger PC Charger is a pistol, but I have a pistol brace on it. So you'll see in some videos here and some footage of how I have it all set up now. And I think I got it figured out. So I'm going to talk about some of the changes that I made to it. 2 upgrades that I think it needs immediately. And it's kind of frustrating that this is the case, because I feel like this is happening more and more with weapons I've been buying. Things need to be upgraded, and some of these guns are expensive, and I don't feel like it's necessary that you should have to go upgrade components on them for them to function properly. So, Ruger, I've experienced it with them. Savage. Maybe I'm just buying crappy guns. I don't know. But I think these everyday type companies that are designing guns like Savage, Remington, you name it, all of them. I think their quality control can go up a bit, because it's just, I feel like this is a common thing no matter what brand I'm buying. So even some of the more expensive stuff I've bought, it's been kind of like, gosh, really? Like, do I really have to upgrade this? But here we are. So 2 upgrades on the Ruger PC Charger that I recommend. And this can be found on M Carbo's website. M Carbo makes a bunch of aftermarket parts for guns to help improve them. Because I think they have found that there's a little bit of a marketplace for them to make some better component parts for these weapons and to make them run better. So they have some parts. The first one would be a Ruger PC Charger Exact Edge Extractor. It's just a more finely cut, better piece of metal extractor pin that does its job, throwing that shell out when it's being after it's being shot. And then there's an A2 tool steel bolt head pins. I've replaced those because the old ones, from their advice on their website, they wear down really easy and they're cheaply made. And so I replaced those as well while I was in there fixing all these things. So I think it was about like $70 worth of parts, maybe it was a little less than that. So not a huge deal, but for little teeny pieces that they are, maybe. And so, I got those and got them sent to me and replaced everything. I have a YouTube video up of me going out and doing like a couple mag dumps with the new changes, and didn't have any stovepipe jams. So everything was fine. Again, I only went through 2 mags. And so I wanted to do a little bit more testing, because now I have this a suppressor for it, and I did not have one at that time. And I just wanted to see, okay, can I trust this thing? You know, bump in the night happens, and what do I want to grab? It's usually a handgun, but everyone knows the handguns. Your accuracy with those can be a little iffy, and I'm much more accurate with something like this. So this is why I bought that gun. But I've always kind of questioned, man, I don't want to freaking jamming on me if I had to actually use it. And so that's why I wanted to do this and then share my feedback with you. So a range day, I decided I was going to put 300 rounds through it, shooting as fast as I can, or as fast as the gun will let me, and see if I can get it to fail again. The ammo that I'm using is Blazer 115 grain, and going to go through 300 rounds of that. The magazines I'm using, I did have an issue with these when I very first used them. They did not feed properly. It's like the spring was getting caught somewhere, and so it wasn't pushing all the rounds up as you were shooting. But that was the first time I used them, and after that, it's like you had to break them in real quick or something. But they're the KCI magazines, and they're half the cost of the Glock magazines. And by the way, the Ruger PC Charger has their own Ruger magazines, but I swapped out the piece that it comes with that will allow you to use Glock or other manufacturers like KCI. So I bought 3 or 4 KCI magazines, 230, they're either 30 or 33 round mags, and then 2, I think 17 round mags. I can't remember exactly what they are, and they have all been fine. I haven't had any other feeding issues other than that first time I've used some of them. And even then, I think it was just the 30 round ones, or 33, whatever the big ones are. It was just those two. And then the other ones I've had no issues with at all. So I don't know. I don't know if I know they're half the cost of the Glock mags, and that's why I bought them. I just think it's ridiculous. $44 for a Glock magazine. Are they that much better? I don't know. I haven't really, other than the one time, I haven't had any issues with them. So just keep running them in the meantime. So that's what I'm using there. The setup of the PC Charger itself is I have the rugged Obsidian 9 suppressor. I have really liked that. I don't know why can't remember why I necessarily bought that one. I think it was just on sale, and I was looking for a good 9mm suppressor. That it can also run 300 blackout for what it says on there, but I don't know if I'll ever use that suppressor for this. This is going to be mainly my Springfield XDM Elite suppressor or my Ruger PC Charger suppressor, so I'll only use it on those two. And but it has a short and a long version. I just leave it on the long version so I can get the best knock down that noise the best I can. And it's been great so far. I've had no issues with that. It's fantastic. And the red dot sight I have in there is the Hollow Sun HS 510C. Red, it's in the red with the red dot. Great red dot. I like it a lot. No complaints there. Seems a pretty solid piece. I like that it has the little what is the solar panel things on it, so it can run off that if needed, or at least help supplement the battery with that. And I even left it the red dot on. Let's see, I shot on Thursday. I've put the battery in it that it came with. We went and shot Thursday. I forgot to turn it off, put it in my bag, and it's still on and still bright and everything today, which is Sunday. So been really impressed with that. Really, really good red dot. The brace on it I have is an SB Tactical FS 1913A. It's the metal one, or aluminum. A pretty solid little brace. Have no complaints there. It folds if you want it to, so you can use it in the pistol configuration. Although I have my charging handle on the left-hand side of the gun, so I don't have to, take my right hand off. I like that option that you can move the bolt, the charging handle from the right side to the left side of the pistol. That's probably one of my favorite features about this, is how you can make that way. I have a Streamlight TLR 1HL. I like that light a lot. I've used a lot of Streamlight stuff. I've never had any issues with any of it. I've had it on my on a Springfield TRP. I have it on my XDM Elite, and then I have one on the Ruger PC Charger. So I have no issues with their products there. Streamlight seems to be making some good lights these days, so pretty happy with that. I do hit it a little with a little bit of oil. My gun before I do this with my ARs as well as the PC Charger before I really shoot off a bunch of rounds. I hit it with Hoppy's 9 Precision High Performance Precision Oil. So that's a really good oil. I've liked it a lot. I've had guns run real smooth when using that, and keeps things pretty clean too. Yeah, no complaints there. But yeah, started off shooting, and I actually had an ammo failure pretty on my second mag I shot. It hit the firing pin and didn't go off. So I don't think that's the gun's fault. But and I've heard some issues with Blazer ammo, that some guns don't like it, but it's pretty affordable stuff, easy to get. You can usually always find it, so I have a bunch of it. So I don't think that was a issue with the gun necessarily, but I inspected the case after, and yeah, it struck. It just didn't go off. So it wasn't an extraction failure like I've experienced before. So I'm gonna chalk that one up to an ammo issue. But that was the only issue I had. And as you can see in some of these videos, I was trying to run it as fast as I could. So trying to get it to do something just to see if I could push it to its limit. But I'm not good enough to push that gun to its limits yet. And I know 300 rounds isn't a ton, but in one sitting going through that many, I thought maybe something would happen. But it didn't. The gun worked flawless, and everything shot amazing. I shot it. My son shot it, and because he loves that gun. We were just shooting a steel plate at like 25, 30 yards, and everything was awesome. But as I got to shoot it more, as I was trying to go as quickly as I can, shooting off a bunch of rounds, the trigger became kind of like something that stood out to me. Like, okay, I can't really shoot this thing as fast as I want to. The trigger just seems, the reset on it, I just don't. It's a little finicky. I felt like it was like stuttering as I was trying to like squeeze some off on there. So I'm going to be looking into some trigger upgrades as well, just to see if I can get a little bit better. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get much better based off of the aftermarket options for triggers for the PC Charger. There are some. Ruger makes one that looks like you can put on 1022s and it'll fit on the Ruger PC Charger as well. But I don't know. It's hard to. I wish, this may be where a situation where, like, if you were to get a 9mm like pistol type setup like this, you may want to go something with that's more on the AR platform, so you can upgrade to a really nice trigger if you need to. I use the Geisley SD3. I think that's SD3 trigger on all my AR-15s and my BRN 180, and that trigger's unreal. Like, it's amazing. So maybe that may be an option for someone to go the AR platform route for a 9mm, and then maybe you can get those better trigger options. But for the PC Charger, there's not a ton out there. So I'm going to do some research on that and see what I can find and see if I can upgrade that trigger. Again, it's not really a big deal. I could run with it and have no issues, I'm sure, and just not run it as fast as I'm trying to. But again, I was trying to get it to do something. I was trying to get it to see if I can get it to fail again. And I couldn't do it. So through 300 rounds. But the trigger was it was a little finicky trying to squeeze off as many as I could. I couldn't do it as smooth as I could on other ones. But so that's a little bit of a complaint there with that. But I'll look into some more trigger stuff and see what I can find. But other than that, man, this gun's so much fun to have. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. Every time I go shooting, it's the gun that has to come along with us because everyone wants to shoot it. It's a blast. Everyone loves it. It is a little heavier. It's like just under 6 pounds, just the pistol itself. But then you add all the other stuff to it, and it ends up being a pretty heavy gun. And that's my only complaint with that, the trigger and the weight. But other than that, man, it shoulders fine. It's fun to shoot. It's easy to clean. Running it suppressed as well. has been awesome. That's been my favorite upgrade to it, other than the fixing the extraction failures and stuff. But man, running it suppressed has been great, and it runs pretty clean. I have like a before video and then an after video of how it got, how it was at the end of the 300 rounds, and it still looked pretty good. I could probably still keep shooting, no problem. It didn't look like it got gummed up too much. And so, yeah, I just, this is a good gun. It really is. And would I recommend it for a home defense weapon? With some upgrades, yes, I would. I think it could be a very good thing to have. Probably something better than like an AR-15 with a 5.56 caliber, but I think a 9mm would be perfect, and that's why I went with this route. And I wanted something a little different, and that's why I did this. But there may be some other 9mm options coming in the future and now at this time it's becoming more and more popular. I feel like the options from a 9mm pistol or AR type style weapons are growing, and yeah, it's kind of fun. So we'll see. But the Ruger PC Charger, great gun, fun, looks cool. I would recommend it. But something else that was funny was, man, the amount of, and maybe this is just all suppressors. I'm newer to the suppressor world. I haven't owned a bunch for a bunch of years. I've had two that I got in the last 2 years. Man, this thing got my face dirty. As you've seen some of the videos, I start getting some black stuff on the side of my face, a lot of blowback and things like that. But man, it's fun to shoot suppressed. So I love doing it. But so yeah, there's my overall review of the Ruger PC Charger with some upgrades. It can be a great gun to have for home defense, plinking, just having fun. Yeah, it's a great weapon to have. I love it. I encourage anyone to go get it. If someone was asked me, should I go get this? I say absolutely. But I would also say that to any weapon you ever ask me about, because everyone should keep going buying guns. So it's fun. It's always fun to have some new stuff in the safe. But there's my opinion. If there's any questions, any comments, I would love to answer them. Thanks for watching my first YouTube or my first video podcast. It'll be up on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, as well as my Spotify podcast account. So, but thanks for watching and thanks for listening, and hope you have a great day.